You ever wonder why people are the way that they are? You ever wonder why people think the way that they think? Well, here's the answer to your questions. This is the Sit Down.
Welcome to the Sit Down, the special edition. We had Pat here before, and we talked about different things that he did with saving money, and he gave us a lot of good quality tips on credit and just different things with financial wellness. And we had kind of talked after the show, and he had mentioned that he'd like to come back and talk about something a little bit more personal, and which I mean, this is what the sit down is all about. So Pat came back, and he wanted to share a story with you guys, or his story personally, and how he dealt with sobriety and his struggles with it and his triumphs with it. And I definitely can't wait to hear his story. But this is going to be a special edition, which typically I got a set of questions for people, and we kind of have different topics, but this is going to be an addition to which we're going to give Pat the stage to kind of discuss everything that he has to say about sobriety, and hopefully we can get a lot of feedback on it of either someone who's struggling with it, or if you yourself are struggling with it, and you can definitely reach out to him or contact us to add your feedback or ask some questions or whatever. So without any further, I'm gonna shut up and give the stage to my boy Pat. Welcome back. Happy
Thank
New
you,
Year,
man.
man.
Same to you.
And I know you got a lot going on.
Yeah.
The new wedding coming up and all of that.
Less than a month.
Oh man, that's gonna be awesome, man. And
Yeah.
so yeah, man, just go ahead and tell your story about sobriety and where Pat came from.
Well, I was raised pretty much around alcohol, drugs, all that, all the fun stuff. I say fun in quotations. Um, I mean, my dad was always big into drugs, partying when I was a little kid and whatnot. He got heavy into drugs. Talking about when I was 10, the house I grew up in got shot up because of it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't living in it at the time, but I wasn't there. But fact of drugs. So like I started drinking at age 12. Started stealing Mad Dog 2020s and asking old men at the grocery stores, I'd buy them one if they get me one. So started drinking at a young age with my friends, drinking at the park, whatnot, getting into trouble. And I never really had like a alcohol problem then. I just like to have fun. I like to party and whatnot. And then as I got older, I started experimenting with drugs. I also have an older brother, and it's easier to get introduced to that kind of stuff when you have an older brother. It's just facts, especially if they get into it. So I started experimenting with drugs. I did cocaine the first time when I was, I think, 14. And I tripped on shrooms for the first time when I was 14. That was an accident. My brother had a cup of shroom tea, and I didn't know what it was, and I chugged it. That was a trip. Anyways, so watch what you leave.
Yeah.
Kids will experiment with it. Anyway, so like as I got older, partying a lot, drinking a lot, and I was never really a mean drunk or whatever until I got like unhappy in my late 20s. I got out of bad relationships and whatnot, and I was drinking all the time, and I started getting aggressive. Not like aggressive towards like my ex or anything like that. I just wasn't a happy person. I would drink to make myself more miserable, and it got to the point where it started getting more and more and more like where I had to be at the bar because I didn't want to drink alone. So I ended up going to the bars a lot, getting drunk, and then picking up beer to drink at my house, going to work, hungover, still drunk, and repeat over and over and over. And it got so bad where I couldn't sleep. That where I went to the doctor and they prescribed me Xanax. So I'm over here popping Xanax and getting drunk every night. I don't know how I kept my job personally. And so this went on for like 4 years where I didn't realize I was unhappy, but I was constantly drinking, and it was a big rotation. drink myself to fall asleep, couldn't fall asleep, pop a Xanax, drink some more. Just a big circle. Actually, half of it I don't even remember because I was so more fucked up than I thought I was. Anyways, I kind of like mellowed out on the pills a little bit, and just I wouldn't call myself I was ever an alcoholic. But I would say I had a drinking problem. To me, a lot of people have different opinions.
What's the difference?
I think an alcoholic, and this is me growing up around alcoholics and drug addicts pretty much my whole life. An alcoholic needs, this is just my opinion, needs it. I was the type of person, I can drink for a week straight, pounding it and just getting belligerent off my mind for a week straight, 2 weeks straight, 3 weeks straight, not touch it for a week. And if that makes sense, like I didn't feel like I was addicted to alcohol.
Do people that are do people that are addicted to alcohol feel like they're addicted?
A lot of people don't know they are.
Right.
But an alcoholic, and I might be wrong here. This is just my opinions and from my experience, whatever. You can like if you can die. Alcoholics can die when they get off of alcohol, when they quit alcohol. They can die, and they have bad withdrawals. Like I never had withdrawals.
Okay.
But I just realized that like I was unhappy. Like I would argue. I would get into fights with my mom. Like argue over little stuff. Snap at her. Like whenever she'd ask me like a question, I would snap at her. Like why the fuck you asking me that stupid shit? There was one time I was at my parents' house, I think it was the 4th of July, and I think I got into it with my brother, and like I said, it was a blur. I got into my brother. A constable came, and says, "Is there a problem?" I said, "Fuck you, motherfucker. Arrest me, bitch." Like, I said this to him. I don't remember this. My dad had to come outside and beg him not to put me in jail. And, like, I don't remember this stuff, but that's how belligerent I was. And this is like my late 20s, going into early 30s. And I stayed drinking and whatnot, and but I started calming down. But I was still drinking, but I was more like a weekend warrior. And I think I found like more of like activity, like working out, cycling, running, and stuff like that. I think it kind of it made me not want to drink as much, but I still drank. I was more of a social, fun drinker. And then one day I had a 100-mile ride one day, and I was drunk the night before, and I was throwing up on the side of the road, but I finished it. And then I got home and I was like, I'm going to take a break from drinking. And that break went on forever. Like, I realized that I'm just a better person without it.
Yeah, I said something, man. It stuck on my mind, in your story. You said that you drink to stay miserable.
What I mean by that is, like, I think I was unhappy. I know I was unhappy. Yeah. It was like I went through a bad breakup. People go through them. And I was depressed. So the only way I was able to express myself is through alcohol. And like where I say like I'm not really an aggressive person. So like I would drink, and next thing I know I'm getting in a bar fight because that was my way of
releasing what I had.
And like I said, getting in a fight with my brother, me cussing out a cop, which I'm glad my dad came outside and threw me inside and begged the cop not to put me in jail because, and it's stuff like that. And so it was like a constant rotation. I was unhappy, so I drank to make myself more unhappy. Like, kind of like, I guess I liked being unhappy. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, the average person wouldn't connect that. But, I mean, I feel like that's an interesting statement. I feel like that might be more common than we think in a lot of other people, even though they may not realize it. Whether it's drinking, alcohol, drugs, or whatever, whatever it is that you do, sometimes I guess you like the feeling of what it does for you after something bad has happened, right? So
Yes.
like I'm angry about the breakup, so I'm drinking. Wow. Now that drink after that breakup is memorable versus the drink during the relationship, right? Because that drink did something for you at the time you were feeling some way. So now you got addicted to the recovery part, right?
Yes.
To the this is what I'm going to do about it, and it feels good that I'm doing this about something that pissed me off
Yeah.
or something that hurt me. So it's like now I need to find something else that hurt me so I can drink to make that better. Now I need to go find. So it's like I can see how that makes sense, right? It's almost like the guy, a person who's addicted to opiates. They're gonna, break their own hand
Yeah.
or you do something bad to themselves to harm themselves just to get more pills. So it's like, okay, dang, I'm starting to be addicted to hurting myself,
Well,
so I can get so I can get the fix for it.
a lot of this also started, and I have a hatred for, and they have their place, pills, prescription pills. That pills have really screwed up my family, and I'm not saying that pills screwed up my family, but
Yeah,
condone to it. Like, there's a lot of stuff I'm not going to get into that pills have really screwed up some stuff. But when I was going through that breakup, I was a smoker. I got put on Chantix. You know what Chantix is? And what Chantix does, it blocks a chemical in your brain that makes you happy, so you don't enjoy cigarettes. I forgot. I don't know the science behind it. It works. I quit smoking like that, and that's when I got into I couldn't sleep, and then me and home chick broke up, and that's when it all started. So I would drink, couldn't go to sleep. I would drink to put myself to sleep because I was miserable, and then I couldn't sleep, so I had to take a Xanax, and then an Ambien sometimes. So yeah, they prescribed me a Xanax because it gave me anxiety and kept me up, and then they gave me an Ambien because the Xanax wasn't strong enough. But it was like they kept prescribing me shit. But I got off the pills like 6 months, which I think I'm lucky because pills are addicting as hell. But I kept up with the alcohol up until like 2013. I was like I said, I was drinking, but I wasn't like I was a happy drunk. I would drink to party, and then I just finally just quit it. It's and I'm a firm believer there's no such thing as a happy drunk, mad drunk, or depressed drunk. I think that's who you are. The alcohol just that helps release it. I don't know if that makes sense.
yeah. Like you said, it like in your situation, you said you drunk because it made it easier to release.
Yeah, made
Right.
it easier to release.
So I'm pretty sure that occurs a lot for other people, whether you drink to finally come out and do what you really want to do or say what you really want to say, whether you drink because you're upset and that's the only way you can get relief of the tension or the stress or the pain or whatever. So yeah, man, I mean,
Yeah, I lost a lot of friends in that time. And some were like stuck by me and whatnot, but I lost a lot of people did not want to be around me because, like I said, I wasn't like really aggressive where I would like pick fights with my friends. I was just an asshole.
now like with being sober, because I know that a lot of techniques that rehab places use and pretty much any other help source that you would go to dealing with addiction, they sometimes they kind of like just replace the addiction with something else.
Yeah,
Like, if I'm addicted to this, then I'm going to give you a different hobby. It really doesn't do nothing about the fact that you're addicted to something. It just changes your addiction from one thing to another. So it's like, okay, instead of being addicted to drinking, maybe we should get him addicted to something more positive.
I'm big on that because I think what happened was when I started not drinking all the time, and actually even when I did drink, I was happier. I got into cycling really heavy, and it made me. I feel that made me a happier person. I also separated myself from a lot of people, like people in my family and certain friends and whatnot, And I noticed that like I can go out and get drunk with friends and not worry about getting into a fight, not worrying about getting into an argument, not worrying about and not go home depressed. And then but like and so I think cycling and working out really helped me deal with all that. Now, and I always suggest that it's like if someone's depressed or they feel they have an alcohol problem. Here's the thing: if you think you might have an alcohol problem, there's a chance that you do. You probably you do. You know, don't second guess it. Find something to occupy your mind. Find a passion. See, I also didn't have a passion then. My passion was getting fucked up. I found a passion and
To replace it.
And even my fiance now, she'll ask me, she goes, "Are you ever going to like drink a beer or whatnot?" She goes, she didn't know me when I was like that. And I'm glad, because if she knew me when I was like that, I wouldn't be marrying her right now.
Right.
And I'll sit there and say no, because I'm not saying like if I start drinking a beer that I want to go back to my old ways, because that most likely won't happen. But I just feel like I have such bad memories with alcohol that I feel I'm just a better person without it. So why even reintroduce it to myself?
Makes sense.
Well, you know, and she doesn't drink either, so we kind of help.
Click on that.
Yeah.
What, I guess, like when you switched your passion, or you switched from, you know, my passion was getting drunk all the time and partying or whatever. Now your passion is cycling or working out or being more. Do you feel a similarity in both when you're in the moment?
Yes.
Like, is working out really hard the same as drinking a lot? Like, you know, when I want more, right? You want more drinks. You want more
Yes.
drinks. Every time you get drunk, the more drunk you get, the more you want to keep drinking.
Yes.
Right. So it's like the more you work out, the more you want to.
Well,
So is it like that?
it's just like it. It's just a healthier and more legal and respectable way, you know. It's like my grandmother died, was it a little over a year ago, and it was an instant situation. And I told Training, my fiance, we weren't living together yet. I was like, I'm gonna go home and hop on my bike and let my aggression out. I spent 2 hours on my bike just pounding away at my legs, and it's like the same thing. It's like that was my way of letting it out, versus alcohol, which I would get drunk and go to a bar and pick a fight with a friend or a random guy, or you know. So it helped. It really did.
Oh man, that's
Yeah, and I don't ride that much anymore, but like go to the gym or whatnot, it helps. And I suggest that to anybody: is if you feel like you have a problem, you do go find a passion, and it will definitely help you. And that's with depression too.
true.
And I'm not saying that for case for everybody, because you know, depression is something serious. But I always suggest this: try to find a natural way versus a substance.
Yeah.
Even if a doctor writes it down on a piece of paper and say, "Go get this from the drugstore." Find a passion, because my experience, pills were not the best option for me.
Well, you eventually get immune to them, right? Like you take so many of them, it just stops having the effect that it's supposed to have. Just like with anything, right? Like when you're drinking, like drunk, like messed up.
Yeah.
That one beer doesn't affect you like it was when you were a kid, when you very first had a beer,
Yeah.
right? Like, so, you know, and when you've been drinking for a while, it takes so much to get you drunk. So like when you're taking those pills on a regular basis for so long, to finally feel that effect, you got to start taking a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more, because you start to adjust to things. So
yeah, I got to the point, I was so bad, like I would take a Xanax after drinking. It wouldn't even put me to sleep. I'm talking about Xanax is supposed to calm you down, especially if you're chug a 12-pack of beer. Which, like, I'm a little guy, and there were some Sundays I would chug a case of beer by myself. It was crazy. It was crazy, and I think back of the stuff I used to do, and I'm like, I'm surprised I'm not in jail or dead or kill myself. Like, I would drive down the freeway going 120 miles an hour, blitz, and the thing is, it's like, why did I do that? Because I probably just didn't give a shit about myself or anybody else.
Can you, because I know you touched on, like, like that cycle of drinking because you're miserable, then you drink to stay miserable, but it's kind of like you're addicted to that situation, right? Do you feel like even without alcohol, I know you had mentioned depression, like people sometimes get addicted to depression? Like the same way as like, I'm not drinking, but I'm all the time. So I'm not like, I want another drink. I want another drink. And I'm addicted to drinking. Well, depression, you being used to being such
So
that
depressed,
feeling,
yeah.
right? You're addicted to always feeling a certain way. So no matter what you take up on in life, that feeling is gonna come across that, and it's kind of like how depression spreads, right? One situation may cause you to look at everything in that same way, and now everything you see and touch is going to have a negative feeling, or makes you continue to feel down or whatever. So, but yeah, man, it made me think. So I want to see what you thought about. Like, do you feel like pretty much you can get addicted to anything?
I think so. I think anything's addicting. Like, I think working out I'm addicted to it. Like, if I take a rest day, I feel
Bad.
yeah, and it's like,
Yeah.
even though it's good for you,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna gain 80 pounds, and it's an addiction. That's what it is, and like that's how it was. Like, I'm training for a half marathon, and last week I had to take a break from running. I think it was like 2 weeks ago, and I thought, I was like, damn, I'm not gonna be able to run this half marathon because I had to take a week off. Even though I came back the following week and I was perfectly fine. It's that mental, But as for depression, I do think some people, and I don't want to say this the wrong way, like being depressed, and not like,
Right. Yeah.
because I've met people that they find ways to make themselves depressed, because that's what they know. So, and that's kind of like probably how I was, is like, I liked being miserable. I don't know if that makes sense.
Well, it's like, I think it's like the same concept. Like you said, some people like being depressed. It's either you like the attention that it gets you. Like
Yeah.
when you're depressed, that everyone wants to try to help you. So it's almost like that, like a Munchausen syndrome, right? When you're always trying to fake sick so you can get attention from the doctor.
Yeah.
Get attention from her. So I mean, sometimes I feel like depression can be that as well. Sometimes it's like, okay, well, certain people have different feelings during depression. Some people don't know. Some people can mistake being depressed as being happy, really.
Yeah.
Right? If you're in a messed up situation and it's messing you up, but yet you are trying to make light of it, right? You're trying to justify the fact that you're continuing to be in it. And you're trying to force yourself to be happy about it. And then eventually you might trick yourself into being happy that you're in this situation that is killing you, or is tearing you down, or breaking you down, or causing you so much pain.
Yeah.
So I think overall, when they look back at it, it's easy to say, yeah, nah, that wasn't good for me. But you probably can't lie and say, well, at my drunkest, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it was fun.
Yeah.
I was on a line of coke. I did. Hey, that was actually pretty fun. But it tore my body down, or whatever effect it had on you. Yeah, that was messed up. And I look back at it and say, I shouldn't have, or I know now not to do it ever again. Or I can speak to people about the dangers of it so they won't do it. But when I did it, it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's the same way.
Yeah, it is. There's one thing I did notice when I was drinking a lot and being an asshole. A lot of people will act like they hate you like that, but they secretly love it because they see you miserable. And I'm not talking about family and friends or close family and friends, because there's a difference between family and
Right.
friends and close family and friends. A lot of people will sit there and talk about how much of an asshole you were when you were drunk and or fucked up, whatever. But they secretly love it because it makes them feel like they're better than you. I had people that would know that I was short tempered while I was drunk at that time in my life. They would purposely piss me off, and then get pissed at me get pissed at me for getting pissed off since they made me pissed off. I'm like, if you don't like me pissed off, why are you pissing me off?
You know, it's crazy. Like, I talk to my students a lot because, most of them, the fact that you're in my class means you did some pretty bad things. So, but I always talk to them when they're out, in classes that I'm not around for, like the electives and things like that. And I'm like, you got to be careful because a lot of kids will encourage you to do things that they're too scared to do. Or, so when you're thinking about doing something bad, cursing out a teacher or throwing a chair, oh yeah, they're gonna encourage you to do it, or they're gonna, because they know that that's something that they probably really want to do, but they're too scared to do, or that they can't do.
Yeah.
So they're gonna get the kid who they know is bad, and they're gonna keep telling him to do it, so they can watch it and entertain and live through that. So it's like somebody might not or be too scared to drink a lot. So they want to bring Pat around because we know Pat gonna drink and he gonna do whatever I think that I want to do deep down inside that I'm too scared to do. So let me bring Pat along, throw a couple of drinks his way, piss him off real quick and say, all right, release it. Cause I want to release it, but yeah, I'm too scared to.
Well, see, that's what was crazy is like a lot of my friends knew me for like my early 20s as being a fun drunk. I would get drunk and then want to do drugs and have fun, stay up all night and whatever. But yeah, as I got older, same friends were around and they noticed me on the decline. And some of them, instead of asking me, hey, what's wrong? They'd encourage it. And so I noticed once I kind of separated myself later on, I ended up getting happy. Where I could drink and be an adult. Like, I would still do stupid stuff, but I was more of like a goofy, stupid drunk. Like, Pert see me goofy drunk, I'd like to jump on tables and shit like that and act like an idiot. Act like a drunken white boy. But yeah, I just feel like I'm better off without it. And the thing about it is like, if anybody quits drinking, drugs, or whatever, there's gonna be always those people that are gonna try to bring you down. There's still people to this day will sit there and say you were so much cooler when you were drinking. I'm like, well, kiss my ass. You don't have to be around me. I'm not asking you to be around me. Like, it's like there's only a couple people in this world that matter, anyways.
It's crazy, like how you mentioned that. It kind of makes me think about other things that people may be going through. Mm-hmm. That they might want to get out of it, but because other people around them are so used to them being that way that they stay. So like for the depressed person, they attract a certain people around them, but if they're not depressed no more, those people have no reason to be around them anymore. Or if that were the main reason that they were around you, right? Like, so, you say, hey, I changed up from drinking. Now the old buddies that you roll with, who you drink with, want you to keep drinking. If you're not drinking, there's nothing to kick it with. It's like they're not going to come to the bike, the bike rides or the workouts or anything like that you actually are into now, but they will be around you if you decide to go back and drink again. So
oh yeah.
So like I said, it kind of makes sense a lot too. And even when I think about my students, it's like I've realized after talking to all of them that most of them act a certain way because they feel that other people expect them to.
Yeah.
Like once they got a feel of this is what happens when I act this way, then it's like, all right, well now I owe it to everyone around me to give them what they expect of me, which is I'm going to run out of class, I'm going to scream, I'm going to cuss teacher, I'm going to kick I'm going to do whatever. Now I've become that kid that does this. So now when I go to school tomorrow, I got to give the people what they want. Because I won't be known as that kid anymore.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people don't want to get over their problems because they feel maybe that if I don't have a problem to complain about, then there's no, you know,
Oh yeah, you're right.
no one will pay attention to me, or I'm not important no more, right? I was, you know, they measure themselves by the issues that they have. So they, you know, all like you said, like people who's always looking for other things to be depressed about, or for other things to be angry about or mad about. It's like they always need that complaint. You know, they always need something to complain about. So, you know, they feel relevant, which
Yeah.
is kind of sad because that eventually makes them complain about every single thing in their life. And no one wants to be around somebody like that. So, you know, getting real lonely and crap and stuff. So, I mean, I think, like you said, man, people really can be addicted to anything.
I believe so. And I don't like I told you earlier. I don't think I was really addicted to the alcohol. I don't think I was an alcoholic. I think I was more addicted to what we're talking about, like it the way of using alcohol to express myself. Because
Maybe it wasn't alcohol, it might have been something else.
yes, because if I feel like I was able to get rid of like addicted to substance easily, I don't think I was able to break Xanax, which is highly addicting. Like I'm talking about, I woke up one morning and said I'd rather not sleep than take this shit, and that thing, the what you call it, insomnia, eventually faded. But and I got to a point where I wasn't drinking every night. That was like a 1 year stretch right there. But even like in my rough patch, there were still times where I was just like a weekend warrior, where I would go on the weekends and just drink and drink and drink and nonstop. But yeah, it's alcohol is like, I'm not one of those people, the next drinker that is anti-alcohol. I just think I'm anti-alcohol for some people.
Right.
Like me, it was not good for me.
That makes sense, man. I mean, it shows that, like you said, like you replaced that passion with something else.
I did.
You know, and that's cool. And it actually leads me to the next question too. It's probably, you know, so we can wrap this up a little bit. But you switched your passion from drinking to cycling and stuff.
Working out and stuff. Yeah.
What else do you think you could have possibly replaced that with? Like, what else are you passionate about that probably would have worked if you chose that route?
I don't know. I'm a very high energy person, so I think anything physical would have been that. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to say because I never went down that route. Like,
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm one of those people, like I'll switch to cycling, to working out, to running constantly. You know, as that I'll always do all three, but I'll be more focused at this time of year for that, whatnot. Like right now, I'm running more than anything because I have to, kind of.
Right. Okay.
So, and if I don't run on Saturday mornings, I get like freaked out because I'm used to it now.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, sure. You got anything else to close out with, man?
I don't care if you hate me, dislike me, or love me. If you need anybody to talk to about this, you're free to hit me up.
Nah, that's cool, man.
And I always say that. It's like I made a Facebook post a while back. It's like, I don't care if you think I'm annoying, you think I'm an asshole, or what. If you feel like you have a problem, you and I can have a discreet conversation. Then after that conversation, you can sit there and say, "Fuck you, Patrick," and as long as I helped you, that's, you know, or tried to help you or talk some sense, then I did my part.
All right, man. Definitely appreciate you coming out again. And, you know, hey, man, this was a pretty powerful, pretty powerful episode here, man. Definitely learned a lot. You know, I mean, from somebody I haven't dealt with, you know, addiction to that level. But I mean, it opened my eyes to what that could possibly be like for anybody, and the fact that, you know, everyone has an alcohol, right? It might be depression, it might be drugs, it might be whatever else that they choose to go to
Yeah.
when they want to release or when they want to, relieve stress or whatnot. So
I will add something real quick before we close this out, and it's something I should have added earlier. Is like I'm gonna tell you something that really helped me was the Eminem album Recovery. Find something like that, because like when I was still drinking, but I was like finding myself better. That album really helped me because he talked a lot about his addiction.
it's funny though because it's like damn near every time we film PPP, you mentioned Eminem's Recovery album. But I guess when you put it in perspective, I see why.
It was a personal album to me.
I see why, because it's like Pert's. His thing with Pac, it's personal to him. Pac spoke to him when he went through his tough times.
Yeah.
So I can see that being
because that album came out right when I was like going through all that, and it really and this goes for anybody. Find something like that because it helped me.
It was funny is because like you mentioned when you stop drinking and you want to stop making yourself better in your life. People didn't want to hang around with you no more, and then like Eminem put out a Recovery album, and nobody liked that shit.
No, that was actually one that everybody liked.
Which one?
You're thinking of Relapse.
Oh,
Relapse is what,
yes. Recovery was nice. I actually bought
Recovery was the
Relapse
good one.
was the one I
yeah.
liked.
Relapse was the one that
I actually got the hard. That was like the last probably CD
I didn't
bought.
even buy that one.
I think that was the last hard disc CD that I bought was Recovery by Eminem.
Recovery was a good one.
Everything else, of course, was digital. But like that, I think that was my last hard copy CD.
I think I ended up buying the hard copy too of that. But yeah, I didn't even buy it on Relapse. I was like, yeah.
Title alone told you, say, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't want to pull up anymore.
He made two pretty bad albums in that mix right there.
Right.
But
yeah, man. Like I said, man, definitely good having you back. Feel free to come back anytime to spark up another topic. Like I said, we're gonna have to come up with another way to name this segment to where you just come in and talk about your own personal issue or something that you like to speak about. So, but yeah, man, definitely appreciate you coming out, man. And I don't know if you stand for PPP, but we can have a ball on that one too.
I'll be here.
Yeah, man. All right, man. Appreciate you coming out, man.
Sure.
The Sit Down is brought to you by PowerHits281.com.
This is a Always Press Record production.